Hey Dolphins fans, I'm Dustin Davis and welcome to another video. Every NFL preseason eventually reaches the moment when hope collides with hard reality. Coaches and front offices must look past potential and charisma, reducing a roster of nearly 90 names into a group built to withstand the weight of an entire season. Decisions are rarely clean. Some players seize opportunities at just the right time, while others see years of experience overshadowed by a single newcomer's momentum. For the Miami Dolphins, this summer has been defined by the shifting balance between stability and risk. Veterans signed to steady key positions are now under pressure from younger challengers. Injuries have thinned depth in critical areas, forcing the team to weigh outside reinforcements against internal trust. As the cutdown deadline arrives, the Dolphins face a convergence of storylines. Late-round surprises threatening to overtake high-priced signings, veterans losing their place to rookies, and a secondary influx that may demand reinforcements from beyond South Florida. What happens in these final days will define the first chapter of the season, and it begins with the battle under center. Let's check out several new features. Before we dive in, I have a quick request. If you find value in our content, please give us a like. It's a small gesture, but it really helps. Thanks for being awesome. And speaking of crucial roster battles, one of the most watched competitions is happening at quarterback. The final preseason matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars served as the last audition for players fighting to lock down a place on the Dolphins' 53-man roster. Among those battles, none drew more focus than the competition for the number 2 quarterback job. Miami entered the offseason determined to avoid the quarterback instability that derailed its 2024 campaign. The solution appeared to be Zach Wilson, a former number 2 overall draft pick, brought in on a 1-year, fully guaranteed contract worth $6 million. For the front office, it was a straightforward calculation. Invest in an experienced option who could step in if disaster struck again. But the equation changed when the Dolphins took a flyer on Quinn Ewers in the 7th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. At that stage, selections are usually long shots, developmental projects who may or may not stick. Yet Ewers quickly separated himself from that mold. In limited preseason action, he produced over 200 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, the kind of productivity that forces coaches to look twice. Joint practices against Detroit and Jacksonville gave further clarity. According to Dolphins reporter Brian Miller, Ewers not only rebounded after early hiccups, but consistently displayed growth. His arm strength matched Wilson's, but his anticipation and timing began to sharpen in a way that the veteran struggled to replicate. Wilson's big arm remained intact, but his accuracy and rhythm with the offense lagged, leaving the door ajar for the rookie to push through. The decision now rests with head coach Mike McDaniel and general manager Chris Grier. In theory, Wilson's experience should keep him in line as the safer option, the steady presence behind the starter. But Miller notes that if the situation forced extended action, Wilson may not be able to hold the job without schematic adjustments. Fans are clamoring for Ewers to be elevated, and while it would be a surprise to see management leap past their $6 million insurance plan, a commanding preseason finale could make the choice unavoidable. The quarterback battle is a reflection of a larger theme for Miami. Veterans brought in for stability are suddenly under siege by rookies exceeding expectations. That same dynamic has unfolded on the defensive side of the ball, where an underdog cornerback forced the team to move on from a veteran earlier than anticipated. Roster cuts began in earnest as the Dolphins trimmed toward the 53-player limit, and one of the first significant moves came in the secondary. After rookie 5th-round pick Jason Marshall impressed throughout training camp and preseason, Miami released veteran nickel corner Mike Hilton. Hilton had been penciled in as the immediate replacement for Kadar Kohou, whose season-ending injury left a glaring hole inside. The Dolphins even signed Hilton specifically to fill that spot, expecting his experience to stabilize the rotation. Instead, Marshall's rise made it difficult to keep off the field. Coaches praised his ability to adapt to complex coverage assignments, and when the live games came, his play justified the trust. The decision to part ways with Hilton leaves Miami with an uncomfortable truth. The cornerback depth chart is now precariously thin. Hilton may not have delivered a standout camp, but his presence would have provided a safety net as the season opened. Without him, the Dolphins are likely to scour the waiver wire for available corners as other teams finalize their cuts. Given the realities of contract guarantees for Week 1 players, Miami could add multiple reinforcements after the opener to avoid locking in financial commitments. With that cornerback shakeup, it's no surprise Miami is now linked to potential trade options around the league. As the league-wide cutdown approaches, the Dolphins' search for depth in the secondary has naturally linked them to potential trade candidates. One name floated is Beanie Bishop of the Pittsburgh Steelers, an undrafted player who fought his way into a role last season, but may now be squeezed out of Pittsburgh's plans after offseason roster reshaping. Steelers Wire's Andrew Vasquez identified both Miami and the Green Bay Packers as logical landing spots for Bishop. Although Bishop endured a turbulent rookie year, he posted respectable coverage statistics. Opponents completed just 57.1% of passes thrown his way, with a passer rating of 59.5. Despite those numbers, inconsistency has kept his future in Pittsburgh uncertain, and his absence from the preseason finale due to injury only added to the speculation. A potential trade return would likely fall in the 5th or 6th round range, though even Vasquez admits that projection might be ambitious. Still, Bishop's versatility in the slot and his reputation as a gritty, competitive defender give him appeal for teams in need. For the Packers, recent knee surgery for free agent addition Nate Hobbs has made slot depth a pressing concern. Miami, on the other hand, already has Jason Marshall and had Hilton as options inside, though Hilton's release changes that calculus. Whether the Dolphins actually pursue Bishop remains to be seen. On paper, Green Bay's need is more urgent, while Miami's is balanced by internal candidates. But with the Dolphins' cornerback depth chart already rattled by injuries and departures, even a speculative addition like Bishop cannot be ruled out. The Bishop chatter is part of a larger domino effect across the AFC, where roster decisions in one city ripple quickly into trade rumors in another. And in Miami's case, the speculation doesn't stop with Pittsburgh. It extends to Baltimore as well. And beyond Pittsburgh, another team in the AFC has a player who could soon draw Miami's attention. The Dolphins' secondary challenges deepened after a series of losses. The trade of Jalen Ramsey to Pittsburgh brought all-pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick back to Miami, but it also removed one of the league's premier outside corners. Shortly after, both Artie Burns and Kader Kohou suffered season-ending injuries, stripping the unit of proven boundary playmakers. Bleacher Report's Alex Kay suggested Baltimore Ravens cornerback Chidobe Awuzie as a possible short-term answer. Once a high draft pick, Awuzie has transitioned into more of a rotational role in Baltimore. With the Ravens recently adding Jair Alexander following his release from Green Bay, Awuzie could become expendable if roster flexibility is needed. Miami, facing a paper-thin group on the perimeter, may see value in exchanging a Day 3 draft pick to secure veteran stability. Awuzie's appeal lies in his experience. With 77 career starts, he is matched up against top receivers, excelled in both press and off coverage, and provided respected leadership in locker rooms. Compared to untested options like Storm Duck or Kendall Sheffield, he offers the kind of reliability that can settle a defense. The Dolphins have already taken steps to cover the slot with Hilton before his release and Jason Marshall's emergence, but the outside remains uncertain. Adding Awuzie would give Miami a proven presence to pair with either Duck or Sheffield, ensuring that the defense isn't reliant solely on developmental upside when facing elite passing attacks. What emerges from all these moves, rumors, and speculations is a portrait of a roster in flux. Trade speculation adds another layer. Would you like to see the Dolphins take a swing on Beanie Bishop, or does Green Bay look like a better fit for his skill set? And if Chidobe Awuzie truly becomes available in Baltimore, should Miami spend the draft pick for proven help on the boundary, or write it out with their young corners? Leave your analysis in the comments. Before you go, hit that like and subscribe button. Be part of our community and stay updated. Let's keep Dolphins strong together. Catch you in the next one.